This is Joshua Farnsworth. Welcome to my traditional woodworking school. In this video, handplane expert Bill Anderson will show you how to make and install a simple wooden strike button on a reproduction 18th century wooden handplane.
So we're going to get ready to lay out make the strike button and install that in the plane. The strike button is right here. It's end grain lengthwise, so usually about an inch deep or something like that. End grain here, and it's used it's a place where you can knock the plane and loosen the iron and wedge out of the throat here. So what we need to do is we need to have a billet that's rived so the grain runs straight along its length so that the strike button won't split during its use. The very first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to rive out some beech here. You can see that the grain on this piece of beech is running at a slight angle, and you can also see that it's quarter sawn almost, but not quite. The grain is running at an angle like this. So I'm going to rive out a section right here to try and get a straight line running along the grain, and then I'm going to rive out a billet about an inch square by striking right here, and I'm going to follow these grain lines right here. So we'll just go ahead and try that out. This is a striking knife that riving knife, I should say, that Peter Ross has made. So we'll go ahead and lay this on here and give a little whack, and then we'll come over here about an inch farther over, and we have a billet that we can square up and make into a strike button. However, I've already got a billet here, and so we'll go ahead and use this. But let me show you what the process of making one of these a cylinder from a square billet. So right here we have a square billet, and the first step in order to make an octagon and to make a circle is to draw the diagonals across the end of the billet like that. And once you have a set of diagonals, you set your compass to the length of 1/2 of the diagonal. So from the center point out to a corner like that. And then from each corner, you strike a series of marks all the way around. And those marks mark the edges of the octagon. So you can see I've got 8 marks here. And when I plane off these corners here, I wind up with an octagon. And going from an octagon to a circle is just a matter of taking off what's left at each of the 8 corners here. In effect, turning this from 8 till an infinite number of corners like that. So the very first thing to make a square billet is to flatten one side. And once we flatten one side, we'll make an adjacent side square to it. So let me just go ahead and do that real quick. So I'll put this up in the vise. I'll set it so it's pretty vertical. And we'll plane one side right here.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying watching our video so far, and I just want to take a few seconds to let you know about our traditional woodworking store, which you can visit while taking a class or by visiting our website at woodandshop.com/store. You'll find our amazing products to help you grow in traditional hand tool woodworking, including in-person and video woodworking classes, woodworking hand tools and workbenches, woodworking plans, traditional wood finishes, shirts and hats, and cool hand tool woodworking gifts for you or your loved ones. Okay, back to the show.
So we got a square billet here. What we're going to do now is mark the diameter of the circle we want to make. And we're going to make a strike button that's 7/8 of an inch. So I've set my marking gauge to a tad more than 7/8 of an inch. And we'll go ahead and strike a line down here like this on the two adjacent sides. And we'll plane down to those two lines there. And then we'll be able to see that across the edge we'll have a square. And I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll go ahead and turn this into an octagon. I've scored up this billet. It's just a little bit fatter than 7/8 of an inch. I've drawn a diagonal across here, and I've set my compass to half the diagonal. So I'll just go around each corner. I'll hang one corner of the compass across there and make a prick mark all the way around from each corner. Just hanging it off the edge and pushing in there. And then I'll come back from the other direction and make the other half. What I'm going to wind up with is 8 prick marks on the side of the billet right here. And I can set my pencil right in that line and run it down here. So I'll do that on all 8 sides. And then we'll turn it over and we'll start up here and just run that down there. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this in the vise and plane down each of these 4 corners, and I'll have an octagon. So I'm just going to set it up in the vise with the corner I'm going to work on sticking up. And you just want to make sure that you come down to each of the 2 lines at the same time. So you may need to tilt your plane one side or the other. And here's the first bevel. And I'll just continue around and I'll do the other 4 corners and we'll have ourselves an octagon. At that point, we'll start using a little bit of plane work and then a little bit of spoke shave work to make that into a circle. And we'll test the circle, developing circle, against a hole drilled with the bit we're going to use to drill the hole for the strike button. I've taken this billet and we made an octagon out of it. I planed all the 4 corners like I showed on my schematic. And then I took off each of the new corners I generated. I did that with the spoke shave. And I have a very multi-sided billet. And one thing I did was to put an arrow on one of the diagonals so I could keep track of where I was in the circle as I worked my way around. The other thing I did was I took the scribe, the compass here, and I scribed a circle on the inside. It's not important that the circle be the one that I'm planing it down to, only that I have something to guide my shaping process so I keep it even all the way around. So I did that, and then I put it in here vertically like this, and I used the spoke shave to come around and take off any facets I could see, and I just sort of worked my way around and then turn this a little bit and so on and so forth until I had gotten to the point where I want to try it in the hole. Now we're drilling a 14/16 inch hole, 7/8 in other words, and so I can stick this through my reference hole. This end's a little bit small, but it'll show what we want to see. And I can poke it through here, and then I can pencil around and get a cutoff line to make this into the billet square, and then I can bring it up 1/16 of an inch or so and make another line, which will be the base of the dome that's going to shape the curvature. So let me just go ahead and saw this part here off so you can see what we're doing here. So I want to make a square cut, so I'm going to saw a little bit around each edge of the end so that the final cut will be right in the middle of the billet as they go around. This way I'm pretty sure I'll get a nice even cut all the way around, like so. And now I have this other line here, which will be the base of my dome. So I can put this in here, and I'll use a rasp. And what I'll do is I'll go around, and I will bevel right down to that line, make a nice sharp bevel right there, just initially, and work that way all around. I'll just do a little bit of this so you can see what's going on here. Just trying to get a bevel here. And then I'll come back after I've completed that bevel, and I'll round over towards the center like this and try and get it to be a nice curve, always rasping towards the center of the billet, not off the one edge, but always from that bevel I made towards the center all the way around until I have a smooth curve that ends right here in the middle of the billet. Now I've done this on the other end, and you can see that, and I've sanded this, so now I've got a final surface here, and I'll go ahead and put this through the hole right there. This is a little bit tighter, which is good, and I'll set it so it's sticking up as much as I want above the surface of the wood, and I'll make a pencil line on the other side right there, and that'll be my cutoff. So that'll be the length of the strike button. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me saw this off, and then we'll complete this button. I do want this to be a nice straight cut, because the secret of the strike button is that the force that you apply to the surface here gets transmitted into the body of the plane evenly, and so you get a nice solid connection there that sets up a vibration that allows the iron to be popped loose from the abutment there. So there we have our strike button with a cut right across here. We can clean that up just a little bit if we want. The very last thing we're going to do is take this and put some groove marks in it with a chisel. We'll just call this glue relief slots, and we'll have those come up about 2/3 of the way up here. And I'll put 3 or 4 of them around the edge. That way when we glue this up, we won't wind up with a piston effect from the glue, and the button's liable to go on. Like so. And then we'll set our marking gauge here to the depth of the just shy of the crown. Snug that up. So this is how deep we need to drill the hole for the billet. So we want the crown to just stick a little bit above the surface of the plane. And so we'll use this when we get ready to drill the hole for the strike button. We'll use that to gauge the depth of the hole. So right now we have the strike button done. We have the handle done. They're both ready to be installed. The next step would be to finish out some decorative aspects of the throat of the plane, plane the bevels and the stop chamfers on the sides of the plane, and then clean up all the surfaces of the plane as well, so that we're finished. And at that point, we'll be able to glue in the strike button and the handle. Those will be the last 2 things that happen. So we're going to get ready to drill the hole for the strike button, and I've set the gauge to be just shy of the beginning of the dome of the strike button. So I want the hole to be that deep so that the button sits proud of the surface here, gives the opportunity to be able to strike it without banging the rest of the surface there. So we're going to use a 14/16 bit, a number 14 auger bit, and drill down to this depth, and we'll be ready to put some glue on that strike button and pop it in there. This particular strike button, you can see here, I've put some glue relief slots here down on the bottom end of the strike button here, so that the glue won't be like a piston when I tap it in. So let me just go ahead and spread a little glue on here, and just going to put the glue on the bottom half and let the action of tapping it in there spread the glue up. And you notice my button is a little bit proud of the surface here, which is what I want.
If you're interested in learning traditional woodworking, come take a class at our school in Earlysville, Virginia. You can also visit our website at woodandshop.com, where you'll find a bunch of free woodworking lessons, workshop tours, and our very popular tool buying guides. And make sure you subscribe to our free newsletter to get our latest articles and videos. Enjoy!